Take a deep breath. Boom. It was easy. Judy Matejczyk here, life mastery consultant and world-class paradigm shifter. Wow. In this quick 5-minute presentation, I want to talk to you about creating and maintaining state. And the reason this is important for you is because whenever we're in front of a client, our families, our community, our state creates our vibration that as transformational coaches, we get to put the energy out there to create and change state. So when I first started this, I'm like, creating state. How do you do that? I live in Texas. I've created states many times. I've lived all over different states. And then I'm like, this is crazy. What does that mean? And I'm like, that is not what it means. Creating state means to go deep, get into higher vibration, and SOI. We're going to be talking in a presentation. There'll be 5 tips I'm going to be giving you. I'm going to give you one now. So let's take another deep breath in. Get fully present right here. And I'm going to just tell you a little story about the last 12 months and creating state. So it was about a year ago. In fact, if I look back on my photos a year ago, everything was falling apart. Oh my God, we're not going to meet in person. How are we going to not hug? How? And this fight or flight took over me, and it was like, So I went to my go-to, my religious and spiritual leaders. So I tuned in to online church. Don't you love it? We do online church. Tuned into online church, Unity of Wimberley, and Reverend Jill Carey, and Kit Holmes. We were trying something called this online church. And I'm like getting tuned in, getting the right dial things, and boom, Jill shows up. She looks a little different. She shaved her head. And she goes, you may notice something different about me. Well, I've come to realize that during the pandemic or whenever, I don't need all these outward things. I don't need to be going and getting my hair done. And then she showed us her nails and she said, we don't need that. But guess what? I'm donating all of the money that I would spend on all this outside stuff and giving it to Crisis Breadbasket, which was feeding the children and the community there, because you know what? There really are long lines of people needing food. And she was going on, and it was spiritual connection, and I'm like, wow, that is a great idea. Yeah, she's going to start a movement. So like I was all spiritually high and everything, in a great state, turned the computer off, shut it, and went, and I got my clippers. I went out in the backyard, and my son Jody's watching me going, uh-oh, what's she up to now? And I shaved my head. And it was like, what a freeing thing. Oh my God, I shaved it. And then I looked and I'm like, I'm going to do what she's doing to change state. So I shaved my head, went to sleep that night, going that I made a shift, an outward shift. I had no idea what was going to happen with that, none at all. I woke up the next morning and I went to feel and like, oh no, what have I done? Have you ever created state and you look and you're like, oh no, I can't go back. There's no, I'm like, oh. So anyway, I looked in the mirror and freaked out. My hair was the best thing of all about my looks that I enjoyed. And I'm like, it's no longer there. And I felt, and then I thought, this cannot be. And I went out in the backyard. There's my hairs all over the place. And I'm like, change your state, change your state, change your state. You lost it, change your state. And then I immediately knew what to do. Spiritually connected. Went to my computer, went on Amazon Prime, right? and ordered a wig, right? So, and it was like a state change. So then I went, and there were so many things because I'm visible online. I'm visible, and I started to do my videos and everything, and I noticed people were looking at me a little bit funny. And I had people asking me if I was sick. Are you experiencing a health thing? And I started to explain what I was doing, and it just there. So I quit, and I went into this deeper contemplation of who I am to be. So my question to you is, well, let me give you one tip out of the 5 before my 5 minutes is up. My one tip is, before you get out of bed in the morning, to create state for your day, and it has to be daily, and it has to be hourly until it's just part of who you are, this state change. Ask yourself this one question. There's 4 other ones, but it's just one. Is, what am I looking forward to today? Just add, and before I knew it was this, because what we're doing, we're shifting up. It's a paradigm shift up, because we know we're in a shift, and every breath we take, every second, is either expansion or contraction. Now, before I knew about this state change, I was like, I could shift, but I was shifting downward, downshift, right? And okay, no, this is an upward shift, and asking myself this question, and I'm gonna challenge you. Okay, if you're in, say I'm in, right? I'm in right here, right, Matt Vlogs? I'm in, because we are igniting the flames of the dream. When you press that magic button, igniting the flames of dreams mean we have to, as coaches, put ourselves in that upward shift, that upward state. So ask yourself one more time, what is it that I am looking forward to today? Got it? Okay, now give me a second. So it was a couple days later, and I had lived a couple days with a bald head, and people asking me how, what I'm doing, and all that. Okay, and then this came. Yeah, and I was okay. A whole new state, a whole new state. So as you go by this, I have more of the presentation coming. I want to leave you with this. Wherever you are, dream big, dream bold, accomplish brilliantly. Because we can't go back and have a new beginning, but we can start right now, and have a brand new ending. To be continued. Judy Matejczyk, Life Mastery Consultant and world-class paradigm shifter. Over and lovingly